Brandon, Herb, Devontae, where are they at right now?
Brandon and Herb will be out. Devontae went through practice. He was fine, so he should be okay. Did you say Devontae?
He said Devontae.
Oh,
yeah. We might as well.
Jose is questionable, so we'll reevaluate him tomorrow, see where he is.
Well, I know it's really early in the season and you don't get any awards for this, but what does it mean to be in first place right now?
Well, we're all thankful to be in this position. We have a ton of great guys on the team that buy into what we want to accomplish. It's a good place to be early in the season, and we just want to continue to build from here.
Defensively, you guys rank near the top of the league in deflections. How do you balance wanting to be aggressive as a defense and getting in passing lanes and creating turnovers versus not being too aggressive and overextending yourself?
We want to be aggressive. It's just kind of our foundation defensively. We want to be in passing lanes. We want to get deflections. We want to be smart with how we defend and not reach as much and put guys at teams at the foul line. But we definitely want to be aggressive with our approach.
Zion gets that on a lot the last 4 games. I know sometimes we ask you about it when he doesn't get that on. What do you like about his aggressiveness?
Sorry about that.
Just these last 4 games to try to get those goals.
I think the beauty in it is like time score situation. There's moments throughout the game where we need an impact play and we put the ball in his hands and he makes the right plays for us. Sometimes that's just creating an opportunity for a teammate. Sometimes that's getting into the paint and finishing or going to the free throw line. And he's been solid at the free throw line this season.
1 year ago, Coach, you guys were last in the Western Conference. Now you're at the top. Is there any sense of accomplishment that fact alone for you?
It's just a credit to God and all the blessings that he's given us on this team. It took a lot of work for all of us to sort of climb our way out of a hole. We got healthy towards the end of the season. We made a great run, and now this is a continuation of what this team did last season. So extremely privileged and grateful and blessed to be in this position. I know it's early, but we're definitely celebrating where we are, knowing that we still have work to do.
I'm not sure what the numbers are after the game, but Jose was number 1 for you guys in deflections this year. Usually the guys at the top of that list are like 6'8", 6'9", long arm kind of guys. What makes him so good at being disruptive, on defense, consistently?
It's a part of his identity as a player. He knows that when he touches the floor, defensively, he's going to be all over the place. He plays with his heart, and it's just kind of who he is. You know what? I think it's even special that he's not 6'8", that he's able to do all the things that he does on the floor, and he's really impacted his team in a positive way.
You're going to face the Suns 3 times, I think, over the next 9 days. You're going to treat this sort of as like a small playoff series in a sense where you're going to look for maybe making more adjustments after games and during games because there's going to be another matchup?
Yeah, I think the first couple games for sure because we play them back-to-back times that we get to come in and have a game plan and then kind of reevaluate where we are after the game. And so that part of it, yes, you can look at it like a playoff series, but when the games are spread out, it's kind of hard to make quick adjustants.
So you're expecting a playoff like atmosphere tomorrow?
I am. Both teams are really good. We played these guys last season in the playoffs. They moved on, we didn't. We've been talking about it, and we look forward to the challenge.
I know everyone wants to talk about maybe the Lakers being a rivalry. You see this being a big rivalry, knowing how the playoffs went last year, back and forth, and even still everyone, even Larry saying, hey, we'd like to win this for Willie, these games.
Well, I'm appreciative of Larry's comments. Rivalries are good for the NBA. They're good for fans. It's good for sports in general. Both of our teams, we have a lot in common, a lot of relationships. We'll see if it becomes a rivalry. I don't know if it is yet, but they want to beat us, we want to beat them, and that's the bottom line.
That playoff series was emotional for you, obviously, last year. Do you think it's just always going to be that way when you see those guys, just because of the history, the relationships you have with all those guys?
For sure. I got a lot of love for the Phoenix Suns and James Jones, Monty, Mark Bryant, CP, Book. Those are, we're all brothers at the end of the day, but we understand that it's competitive when we step in between these lines. Like I said, last season we were talking, first game, second game was more text message. By the third game, it was no more talking. It was just like, roll the balls out, let's play. And we expect nothing less from each other.
Coach, I'm sure you stay regularly in touch with Monty and a lot of their guys. Have you guys already been corresponding about this upcoming, 3 games at all?
We haven't at all. We haven't talked much about basketball in the sense like that we're getting ready to play these guys. When we do talk, we talk about our families. We talk about our spiritual life and community. We'll touch on basketball a bit, but we just check in and see how things are going in life.
Willie, I guess I'm sure you get asked this quite a few times during this stretch. Guy goes out, somebody steps up, and you guys just continue doing it, continue winning games. What does it say about your team, coaching staff, and your players as a whole?
I think first and foremost, it starts with our management team, Griff, Trajan, Swin, everybody that takes part and going out and looking at players that are going to help this program. So when we lose guys to injuries because it's a part of the game, we're getting confident in our depth. And then our coaching staff and our players and our performance team, medical, we're all dedicated to continuing to help our guys get better, work on the things that you're great at, and just continue to improve. So it's a credit to everybody here that we have guys that when certain players go down, they can step in and help us right away.
Coach, you guys helped Teaspoon celebrate her birthday today. Just how much does she mean to all you guys? I mean, we've heard it before, but tell us again, maybe give us a personal glimpse into something we haven't heard before.
Yeah, I mean, she's big sister to everybody here. And from a basketball sense, she's one of the most decorated players here. Her and Swin, Hall of Famers, have done it all at every level. But even more than that, she has a big heart and great relationships with all our players, all of our staff. It's really a pleasure to learn from her and to hear her in some of our meetings, to see her work on the floor, her preparation. And we're extremely proud of the work that she's doing. But also, we want to celebrate her today on her birthday, so we're happy for her.
We're 6-6 at one point. I don't know what it is. 10 of 11. 1-10 of 11. What do you think has allowed you guys to hit your stride here?
I think defensively, that's kind of the obvious answer, isn't it? But we really amped up the intensity, and guys have really bought in what we had to do, what we've got to do on that end. And I think it helps that we got off that early season schedule. That was it's pretty brutal. So being at home a little bit and playing a normal NBA schedule kind of helped us as well.
Yeah, I mean, being third or whatever it is in defensive efficiency, I mean, I think nobody had you guys pegged that high. I mean, why do you think you guys have been, that good on that end?
Guys have bought in. Again, I think it's, from 1 to 15, obviously, like, Z's been highlighted a lot recently, and he deserves it and deserves the praise he's been getting on both ends, but seeing it, start from the top down is if Z's playing defense and scoring 30, how are the rest of us not going to buy in on that end? So, our leaders have done a really good job of stepping up and leading by example, and the rest of us just following suit.
You might be good at basketball, right?
I think he's got a future in this thing. Yeah.
And y'all were playing well on defense during the playoff run last year. Do you think anything in particular has improved this year compared to what y'all were doing last year?
I think, a level of care. I mean, I think a level of care and know-how. Obviously, me and CJ had just gotten here, and I had really just come off surgery, so I didn't have my ability to stay in front of guards. I wasn't ready for that then, but now I am, and it certainly helps our switching unit that we have guys 1 through 5 that can actually know what we're doing and able to sit down and guard 5 positions.
And Larry, they don't give you hang in the banner for being first place in December, but what does it mean to be number 1 seed right now for this team?
It means we've done what we're supposed to do. There's nobody in this building that's surprised right now. When we were 6-6, you had a bunch of guys that were, irritated at being that. So I think we're carrying on business as usual. And yeah, it's great to see ourselves atop the standings. But that's just like you said, there's no award for being first in December.
I know you weren't here last year, but at this point last year they were 7-20, near the bottom of the NBA. Now near the top of the NBA when it comes to the standings. At least allow yourself to enjoy it a little bit. I know you still have 58 games left.
I mean, yeah, it's cool to see it. Pelicans posted on Twitter. Guys, I have my fun on Twitter and I see it and whatnot. But I mean, if we had 2 days off or something, I might take a day to revel in it. But we don't get a day. We have one of our rivals coming in this building tomorrow and Sunday. So we don't have time to revel in it. And all these guys want to do is we have a real good opportunity to cement that number one spot right now. And I think everybody's looking forward to doing just that.
You mentioned the way that the schedule, the way the season was, a ton of road games, but it's kind of flipped the other way. What do you think about just the way that you guys have taken advantage of being home so much, as well as just the atmosphere that seems to keep building in the arena?
Yeah, no, it's great. Again, the fans have been incredible, and the home support is great. It's something that Detroit starts making a little run last night, and the fans get louder and louder for us. Whether it's OKC makes a little run, the fans get louder and louder for us. So it's they've had our back all year, and again, we've said it from the beginning. They keep showing up, we'll keep putting on a show for them to watch.
How difficult is it to come up with those game summaries after the game?
I'm sorry?
How difficult is it to come up with those game summaries?
Some games write themselves. Other ones, Other ones I got to search a little bit. But again, I'm just having my little fun on Twitter before it all ends.
Larry, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the best team you've ever been on was the lone season you spent with LeBron and Cleveland. Yeah. Do you see any comparisons or maybe some differences between that team and this team?
Well, shoot, that was for like half a season. I texted my family, like, they sent me the number one thing, the screenshot of us in the standings. I sent them, I don't even know what to do with myself. Like, it's 8 years now, and I've been looking for a team like this. So, it's been a lot of fun, but, it's cool, man. I just, like I said, I don't want these guys to get too high on it, because it is just December. But at the same time, it's an accomplishment that we do need to recognize and know that that's a target on our back now. That's a target on our back.
Jose obviously goes out last night with the ribs, but shows back up on the bench, wrapped ribs and all, doing all the things that Jose does. What do you mean to watch him still be him despite, trying to hold his side at the same time?
Would you expect anything different? Would you expect anything different? No, it was great to see him back on the bench. Obviously, you see somebody go down, obviously anything non-contact, but contact in the torso area, you're generally concerned, for their health. And so, I was in the game at the time, and I didn't get to necessarily see what transpired going back in the tunnel and coming back out. But when I checked back out of the game and saw him there, it was like, oh, I forgot. It's great to see you back out here. Like, it's good you're doing well. And again, he's, bounced around at practice today, so I think he's feeling pretty good. And again, I'm just happy for him and us that looks like something serious is about.
Larry, right when that happened, I think you were one of the first teammates to get to his side, and I think you motioned to the bench for somebody to come out. Did you tell that something was wrong, or did he say something to you that he was really hurt?
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess in the spirit of the World Cup, there are guys that are gonna roll around and flop around on the ground with trying to get a call for something, and Jose's not one of those guys. So, when you saw him in pain like that, you knew he's not faking it. I don't think we have guys that are gonna milk an injury, and so. That's why, him motion anything, anywhere in the stomach, it's a safe bet to hey, come on out, let's check him out. Make sure he's all right. And again, my immediate response is grab a towel, make sure, see if we can block any cameras and whatnot trying to get in there. So, like I said, I'm just happy he's up and moving.
You guys haven't faced the Suns at home since that historic effort by Chris Paul to close out the series, to get them 3 times in essentially a week. You like that? Does it feel like there's a rivalry being built? Does it feel like a little mini playoff series happening here between y'all two?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like both teams are going to go into it with a little bit of gusto, whether it's because of last year's playoff series or just because we're 1 and 2 in the standings. There's a little bit to it, and I'm not giving you guys anything I don't know, but I hope Jose plays, because that just adds more to the game, with that little rivalry or whatever you want to call it. So, I think. Playing Phoenix is a game we're going to always get up for. Just if for no other reason than 1 and 2 in the standings, and you always want to beat someone's former team, and we're all trying to get this one for Willie.
How much do you think the steals, the deflections, playing in the passing lanes, that kind of stuff has become part of the team's defensive identity?
That's who we are. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to be what's nice is we have guys guys like Najee and Jose that are going to play passing lanes, and Herb that are going to play passing lanes. Where to a certain extent, I'm more cautious of a defender. So when they go play passing lanes, I'll be back waiting just in case they don't get it. So we've got a good mix of aggressive and a few anchors back there, making sure that when and if they don't get it, we got guys still back playing defense.